Today, we're making some carrot risotto, or golden risotto, depending on which daughter you ask, for the kids. It's very simple and you don't even need a knife. The whole thing cooks within 15 minutes and you can make a very small portion, just for one if you wish. Now first, you want some boiling water by your side, then stove on. Medium, high heat. Risotto is a wonderful toddler food just because it cooks so quickly and you can always make smaller portions that you don't have to commit a lot of work to the dish only to find out that your kid has no interest in eating. So make a small portion and see how it goes. Don't be emotionally invested to the risotto. Now the pot is hot, we add some olive oil. The key to this dish is you have to use good carrots, by the way. I once cooked it with budget carrot. It had no flavor. The whole thing was so bland that no one ate it. This is a carrot I found in the fridge, half peeled. We'll peel the other half. And you simply take a grater and you go. This way, it's less work, less washing, but most importantly, finely grated carrots, they cook much quicker. It has a much larger surface area for the heat to evaporate the water content, concentrating the flavors. And this way, even by adding hot water, you're in essence making the world's quickest carrot broth to cook your arborio rice. Now that looks like a lot, but once the water evaporates, they shrink down very quickly, so I would even do a bit more. Now we're good. Move them around so they don't burn. We're not trying to brown the carrots here. We're trying to sweat them, meaning we're trying to evaporate their water content, just like the steam you just saw, to concentrate the flavors. Carrot, they emulsify with the olive oil, creating this wonderful golden orangey color. You see, what looked like a lot of carrots earlier, suddenly reduced at least by half. Now, optional, if your kid is really well behaved, I like to grate just a tiny bit of garlic for a bit of complexity. Completely optional, of course. Perfect. And you cook until the garlic's fragrant, meaning you can smell that wonderful garlic smell, if you like garlic, of course. And once you see not much evaporation is going on, we add our arborio rice. And you just toast the rice a tiny bit for them to pick up some of this wonderful color. Now, for kids risotto, we're not trying to achieve anything al dente, so the active cooking time is even shorter. You can afford to walk away for the first 5 minutes. The reason why you still want to move them is that by moving your rice around, you're releasing the starch, creating this consistency, this thick sauce that you associate with risotto. Perfect. Hot water. Initially, you want to add about twice the volume of what you have in your pot. And you want this to cook for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you start to mother your risotto. Help them release the starch, help the flavors of the carrots emulsify. Right. Slowly add more water. By the way, if you have pumpkin or butternut squash, you can also add them in the beginning. For me, when cooking for kids, the aesthetics matters so much. Not because you want to win a Michelin star, because I think the visual is what would make them interested in trying it for the first time. Then it's about whether they like it or not. But if you make something that is extremely tasty but visually not appealing, they might not even try it. That's why we're not adding other vegetables, and to keep it simple, of course. And depending on how old the kid is, like my daughter's almost 2.5 now, she would stand on a chair next to me and watch the last 5 minutes of the reduction. By then, she's built up an appetite. A bit more water. By the way, you can use homemade chicken stock as well if you don't want to keep it vegetarian. As you can see, the grated carrots, you can only see the color. You can barely see them anymore. And look at the color of the broth. If you have saffron, throw half a strand in. Now you taste the rice for doneness. Once you've reached the desired doneness, then we're just solving for consistency. What you want to achieve is a consistency in which when you try to draw a canal like this, it would take a while for the rice to return. So now I know I still have at least a minute. If you at any point worry that this would catch, just lower the heat a tiny bit. I mean, you could cook the whole thing in low heat, it would just take much longer. So adjust accordingly. Now we draw. Taking a bit longer, but still. Now we're getting there. I want to reduce the heat by a tiny bit so it doesn't burn. One last test. Now, that's ready. Stove off. And for risotto, I always like a large plate, just to give it a bit more surface area to cool down without losing that beautiful texture. Color is just so beautiful. Well, might as well serve away everything. Beautiful. If I didn't tell you, would you have guessed how many ingredients I used? And there you have it. Golden risotto or carrot risotto. I really hope you enjoy.